Hi there, I'm Eshaan Mani, president of the iWRITE Youth Club, and today I am super excited to speak with Sathya Achia in our latest installment of the iWRITE exclusive author series. Ms. Achia is a South Asian American and Canadian author who creates diverse stories of adventure and discovery for picture book, middle grade, and young adult readers. Her debut novel, In My Hands, a contemporary YA fantasy adventure, will be published by Ravens and Roses Publishing in August of 2022. Thank you so much for speaking with me today.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So, first question, where do you find the inspiration for your debut novel?
Wow, so many places. Particularly my background. I have my culture is Cordova. My family's from an area in India called Kodagu, and it's these remote hills up in the Western Ghats region in India, and it's all rainforest and lush and you'll see a lot of in my hands, especially when Chandra gets to India, is hugely inspired by this beautiful, beautiful region. Um, I also get a lot of my inspiration from the stories that my grandparents used to tell me when I was growing up. And I've always just been a huge fan of um, anything mythology, any kind of story. I just crave a story. So it comes from multiple places and family too. Like family is a big part in my story. So
For sure. And I know you just said your debut novel has Indian cultural influences. So tell me a little bit more about how your culture growing up has kind of influenced your writing.
sure. I mean, the culture is very colorful. In Kodagu, we actually it's a beautiful region. It's surrounded by coffee plantations, and it was something. The pictures of this place have they're on my heart. It's where I spent so many summers visiting my grandparents, and just through our experiences there, just kind of learning to appreciate nature and appreciate the land and those things have always stayed with me. And yeah, I think that that's really been a big part of it, as well as growing up. So I grew up in Canada, and I straddled two
Yeah.
cultures in so many ways, both wanting to maintain and hold on to my Indian heritage. My parents were extremely supportive and wanted us I have a younger brother, and wanted both of us to embrace both sides and really just enjoy being who we were, and that was impactful for us. Um, and when you're straddling these two cultures, you want to you feel very torn because there's times you just want to be a regular kid and do what all the other kids are doing. But you're also celebrating these different traditions and different festivals that your friends who are born in this country or in Canada aren't familiar with. So you feel different sometimes, and that was always a little bit tricky. But definitely, I mean, the cultural influence from both sides, my East meets West roots. Um, I mean, I hope that comes through in my book, but it's just been impactful, and I am so proud to be of these two worlds, and I am so proud to be able to share both my cultures.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I know Chandra herself, like her mom has an Ayurvedic shop, has a like a yoga studio. She's learning a form of traditional Indian dance. And she also kind of has this like pretty Western like side to her. So it is kind of the meeting of East meets West.
Yeah.
And so we've been talking a lot about how, cultures have influenced your writing. So why do you believe representation in literature is so important?
Honestly, representation is just the window to so many different worlds. I think we're a global culture. I think that it's so important to be seen. It's so important to have your voice heard. And again, I know growing up, I loved books. I devoured everything off the library shelves. I I just loved reading. But what I did notice was there weren't a lot of characters that, I mean, while I connected with the stories and I connected with the universal messages, the characters I felt never were like me. And they didn't represent those, two worlds or even another world in that sense, especially for South Asian protagonists. And as a child, you want to see those things, you want to feel inspired. So that is really important, I believe, to have that representation early on, so you feel seen, you feel heard, and everybody's story matters. And yeah.
Of course. And how have your experiences in PR as a medical writer and editor, and now as senior editor of a major ad agency, how has all of that experience shaped your fiction writing, if at all?
Wow, that's a great question. I think I see it all under this umbrella of communications and storytelling, and I think definitely, while I love being in a world where I'm reporting on, medical advances and those, eureka moments in a scientist's life, those are all amazing stories to tell. Just fiction, imagination. I love the kind of the dichotomy, like this the split where I can just go home at night and just imagine a world far away. So I think in terms, I mean, it's made me, I want to say, an organized and strong writer. I think it allows me to have like a broad, it's broadly shaped, my writing style, my writing, and storytelling in general, being able to tell all these different stories.
You mentioned something about kind of painting an imaginary world. I spoke with another person for the series, and actually, she was a professor, and she also talked about escapism and kind of using escapism to get away from the craziness of the real world, especially in our modern times. What role do you think escaping, this crazy world plays, even in why you choose to write?
Oh wow, that's also a very good question. I mean, I think we all need to give ourselves a break. I think we need that piece of escapism to just kind of let ourselves relax, unwind, and kind of be able to go to another place. It's, I don't know, it's just, I'm also a practicing yogini. And I feel like that kind of fits into that whole play, and that whole role I have, um, where you need to be kind to yourself and you need to give yourself the freedom to kind of just let your mind be at ease and be free. And I think escapism is definitely a way to that, in that direction, just to complete your whole self. I think that's definitely needed. The news headlines are really heavy nowadays, and being able to pick up a book and escape is sometimes is
Is
welcomed.
welcome, yeah, definitely. So kind of getting more toward the writing process, what has been something pretty challenging for you in the creation of In My Hands?
Wow. I think the most challenging thing for me is, I wear multiple hats in my day. So juggling and time management is definitely, a difficult thing. And I think many writers face that as well. Um, I would say that is probably the most difficult. I think another part to that, in terms of process, it's a lot of just the revision process is really important. And I didn't want to see that in the beginning when I was a young writer. Now, old and wise, I feel like I know better. And just the revision process is so important. And that's something that, yeah, I think I've learned a lot about my writing and my writing style from that.
And what are some other lessons that you're taking away from writing your first novel?
Oh, wow. It's both exciting and nerve-wracking. I think I have I'm trying to just enjoy the whole process. You're a debut once, and you've got to enjoy each and every step. Um, and even, I mean, even as a young, like when I was querying, and when each milestone, you got to make sure you stop and take a deep breath and just celebrate in those moments, because each your first word, your first
Right.
chapter, your first, like, each thing is so huge. And it's and just in terms of my novel, it's just the culmination of all of that. I mean, I've worked on it for 15 years. It was not an overnight
Yeah.
thing. um, and definitely, like I was saying, time management, I mean, life gets in the way. And there's a lot of things contributing. So, um, yeah, definitely enjoying the moments.
And I mean, throughout your writing process, have there been any inspirations for you, like people who've kind of been standing by your side throughout the whole thing? Any kind of continuities in the process that have helped you out?
Definitely finding my writing community and finding those critique partners. Huge shout out to them who have read my novel in all its iterations, who have helped shape my process, who have kept me accountable, who have made sure, been cheering me on. More importantly, I'm fortunate to have amazing family and friends. And I mean, while they don't understand all the time all the nuances of the writing process, definitely huge cheerleaders and are always in my corner. So thankful for that.
That's awesome. And just to close, what's your advice to any up and coming authors, any young kids just getting into writing?
My advice is to be brave and be bold and to keep at it. It's a long game. It's not a quick one. And it's if it's something you're passionate about, you should go and stick with it, and keep moving that forward. Keep writing, keep find your critique group, find those people that vibe with you, find those people that inspire you, and keep with them. You'll get there.
Find your pack and keep on going, right?
Right, that's right, find them.
Well, thank you so much, Masachi, for chatting with me today.
You're very welcome. Thank you for your time.
Of course. It's been a pleasure. All right, folks, be sure to keep your eyes peeled for In My Hands. It's definitely a great read. I just got started on the advanced reader's copy. I'm Ishan, signing off, and I'll see you in the next one. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Bye.